mean something important in leadership matters. You were born to lead. Consider this. The first description of mankind in the Bible has to do with leadership. God designed us to lead. God designed us to have authority. God designed us to have dominion. If you check Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 31, you and I were born or created to lead. And it states, then God said, let us create man in our image and in our likeness. Let them rule. Let them rule. So number one, being made in God's image means we were created to lead. You were created to lead. I was created to lead. Now, somebody's wondering, what does that mean? In the second phrase of that Genesis 1:26, it says that let them rule. In other words, part of what it means to be like God is capacity or ability or awareness of knowing that you were fashioned to lead. You were fashioned to rule. You were fashioned to be in authority. Number two, God gave humans authority over the whole earth. So everyone must be comfortable with these two positions. Number one, the position of knowing that we are under God's authority. And number two, the position of being in authority over the earth. And what does that mean? It means that God has given us a call for us to lead. We must now discover how to lead like God does. And you realize that involves positive influence on people and pure motivation. Of course, leadership we are talking about does not mean exerting on people. It doesn't mean taking undue advantage of people. We are talking of a pure kind of leadership where people are able to have full expression as humans and they can be comfortable, to perform maximally and to be like God. Number three, if God told us to, we must be comfortable with this, that He has given us the ability and the capacity to lead. All you need to do is rise up and take that challenge to lead. Somebody is saying that, but I don't think I'm a leader. But of course, you realize that sometimes you're just in a place and then you were appointed to lead or to bring direction to a group. It simply means that you can lead. Some people will lead hundreds, some people will lead tens, some people will lead thousands, some people will lead millions and billions of people. We will not all lead the same number of people, but even if it is 2-3 persons, you are already a leader. All it takes is bringing positive influence on people and bringing pure motivation and giving sense of direction. Of course, I'm going to close this with an analogy of the salt and the light that Jesus used in Matthew chapter 5. He says that I are the salt of the earth. He says, if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty? And the B part says that you are the light of the world. He said, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. What does that mean? Take note of the word salt and light. What does the salt do? The salt preserves, the salt seasons, the salt makes things lively and to be tasty. Now, simply put, wherever you are to make your environment tasty. You are to make your organization tasty. You are to make your community, anywhere you find yourself, tasty and seasoned. How do you do that? By making your little contribution of giving a sense of preservation and seasoning to the group. Now, look at this. If the salt is not in the soup, it is easily noticed. But if you are there, just like the salt is there in the right proportion, not dominating people, not exerting pressure on people, not making people to feel uncomfortable, but I mean you are there and they are comfortable with you. When you are there in the right proportion as a person, you see that your influence is easily, noticed by seasoning and making the group, the conversation, the family, the community, the organization, business place to be well seasoned. Of course, the second one is the analogy of the light. Everyone loves light. Light talks about direction. Wherever you are, you realize that you don't want to go through darkness. Everyone wants to go towards light. Even insects and some animals, they will come towards the area of light. That simply means you have been made and created to give sense of direction. Wherever you are, no confusion is meant to thrive any longer. So today, I challenge you to arise. I challenge you to, get this awareness and take on the fact that you were born to lead.